The year 830 finds itself etched in the annals of intellectual history, marking a watershed moment in the evolution of mathematics. It is in this year that we find the seminal work of Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi, whose The Compendious book on calculation, by completion and balancing irrevocably altered the course of algebraic thought. To understand the profound impact of this treatise, it is necessary to delve into its historical genesis, its core tenets, its immediate and lasting consequences, the intellectual worlds it helped to. Before al-Khwarizmi, the mathematical landscape was a tapestry of disparate threads. Greek mathematics, epitomized by Euclid's Elements, emphasized geometry and provided a robust framework for deductive reasoning. However, it offered a limited treatment of algebra, primarily dealing with geometric constructions to solve algebraic problems. Diophantus of Alexandria, in his Arithmetica, had explored some algebraic techniques, introducing symbolic notation and dealing with indeterminate equations. His work, while significant, maintained a focus on specific problem instances rather than a general, systematic approach. Indian mathematicians, such as Brahmagupta, had made strides in arithmetic and algebra, introducing the concept of zero and developing methods for solving quadratic equations. However, the contributions, while valuable, were still largely fragmented and lacked a unifying conceptual structure. Al-Khwarizmi, working in the House of Wisdom in Baghdad during the Abbasid Caliphate, inherited this diverse intellectual heritage. He saw the need for a systematic treatment of algebraic problems, one that transcended both the geometric limitations of the Greeks and the problem-specific nature of Diophantus. He was also keen on integrating and building on the Indian numerical system, which was then beginning to spread through the Islamic world. The Compendious book emerged, therefore, as an effort to synthesize and extend existing mathematical knowledge, providing a practical toolkit for solving real-world problems in commerce, surveying and inheritance. The core of al-Khwarizmi's contribution resides in his systematic approach to solving linear and quadratic equations. He introduced and meticulously explained 6 basic types of equations. These are squares equal roots, squares equal numbers, roots equal numbers, squares and roots equal numbers, squares and numbers equal roots, and roots and numbers equal squares. The ingenuity of his work lies in the method he used to solve these equations. He describes 2 fundamental operations, al-jabr or completion and al-muqabala or balancing. Al-jabr involved removing negative terms from an equation by adding an equal quantity to both sides. Al-muqabala involved simplifying an equation by combining like terms and cancelling equal terms on both sides. He provided detailed step-by-step instructions illustrated by many worked examples. These methods, although rudimentary by modern standards, represented a giant leap in algebraic thinking. They allowed for the systematic solution of a range of problems that previously required ad hoc methods or geometric constructions. Beyond the techniques for solving equations, the Compendious book introduced the concept of algebra as a distinct mathematical discipline. Al-Khwarizmi's work was the first to systematically treat algebra as a branch of mathematics independent from geometry and arithmetic. It provided a set of rules for manipulating equations and for solving problems that involved the unknown. Al-Khwarizmi's influence extends beyond the specific equations he solved. His work established a framework and language for algebraic thought. He was also the first to deal with the expansion and simplification of algebraic expressions. This systematic approach was entirely new, providing a method for solving problems of various kinds. The immediate impact of al-Khwarizmi's work was considerable. It was translated into Latin in the 12th century, spreading his ideas throughout Europe. The Latin translation, titled Liber Algebrae et al-Muqabala, became the standard textbook on algebra for centuries. The word algebra itself comes from the Arabic title al-Jabr, a testament to the enduring legacy of al-Khwarizmi's work. The practical utility of the Compendious book quickly became apparent. Merchants, government officials, and surveyors alike found its methods invaluable for solving everyday problems. The precision and standardization offered an advantage over the ad hoc methods it replaced. As a result, his work helped pave the way for the development of commerce and administration in the expanding Islamic world. The legacy of al-Khwarizmi is complex and profound. He helped to popularize the use of Hindu-Arabic numerals, which quickly replaced Roman numerals, throughout the Islamic world. He wrote extensively on astronomy, creating a set of astronomical tables. He also made significant contributions to geography, drawing a map of the known world. His geographical work built directly on the work of Ptolemy, which allowed for more accurate maps. His work on arithmetic, algebra, and astronomy became a foundational element for mathematics in both the Islamic world and later in Europe. The subsequent influence of the Compendious book is readily observable. Fibonacci, in the 13th century, was deeply influenced by al-Khwarizmi's work. His Liber Abaci introduced the Hindu-Arabic numeral system to Europe. Fibonacci's influence, in turn, helped lay the groundwork for the Renaissance. Renaissance mathematicians further developed algebraic methods. They also started to develop more symbolic notations. They built on al-Khwarizmi's foundation. His emphasis on systematic methods made a great impact on the development of mathematics. Throughout the centuries, al-Khwarizmi's work faced various criticisms. Some of the algebraic methods like completion and balancing appeared clunky when compared to the more streamlined symbolic notations that would eventually emerge. However, these criticisms do not detract from the originality or the impact of al-Khwarizmi's work. The Compendious book was a groundbreaking development. It laid the groundwork for symbolic algebra. It shifted the focus from geometric solutions to algebraic solutions. It also facilitated the development of a unified symbolic language. The work also helped to establish algebra as a branch of mathematics distinct from geometry and arithmetic. Scholarly reception of the Compendious book has consistently acknowledged its importance. Historians of mathematics have repeatedly emphasized its role as a foundational text. Modern scholarship has further explored the historical context of al-Khwarizmi's work. It has also examined the influence of his work on later developments. The work is a testament to Islamic contributions to the advancement of science. Al-Khwarizmi's work represents an important moment in the scientific revolution. The genesis of al-Khwarizmi's book involved the synthesis of existing mathematical knowledge. It took ideas from Greek mathematics, Indian arithmetic, and the mathematical practices of the Islamic world. His work also built on his deep knowledge of astronomy and geography. His efforts led to the development of algebra as a distinct mathematical discipline. The Compendious book was not wholly original, however. It provided a systematic framework for algebraic thought. The influence of the Compendious book extended beyond mathematics. It facilitated the development of commerce and administration. The work's practical utility, combined with its emphasis on systematic methods, made significant impacts on the development of science. Al-Khwarizmi's systematic methods allowed others to build on his work. His work also provided the foundations for future scientific advancements. Al-Khwarizmi's work directly influenced many scholars. Fibonacci, for example, heavily relied on his work in his Liber Abaci. Fibonacci introduced the Hindu-Arabic numeral system to Europe. The Compendious book was translated into Latin. It became a key text for mathematical education in Europe for centuries. The mathematical methods of the Compendious book also inspired scholars to invent new techniques and methods. In conclusion, the Compendious book on calculation by completion and balancing by Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi stands as a landmark in the history of mathematics. It was not the first algebra textbook. It was, however, the first to approach the topic in a systematic manner. It provided a foundation for the development of algebra as a distinct discipline. Its influence would spread far beyond the borders of Baghdad. The systematic methods and clear explanations have shaped the world of mathematics for over 1,000 years. Al-Khwarizmi's work continues to teach, inspire, and show that with a systematic approach, anything is possible.